Well, welcome to this vintage farmhouse antiques presentation. We're going to show you this Colclough Stardust pattern china in a minute. It's an interesting design, this Stardust, because it's got these little star designs in the floral pattern that Colclough have applied. A lovely sort of mid-century stylized semi-floral design, isn't it, with grass heads really in a very delicate yellow, grey and brown design. Bone china, made in England over a long period of time. Let's just show you this china mark here for reference. Gives you some idea for dating purposes, and I'll explain as we go through this how we get the dates for this period piece of china. Colclough black crown marks on the top, bone china, and then the little numbers underneath confuse a lot of people. They, we believe, are internal Colclough lot batch or production line numbers or shapes, but they've got no reference at all to the actual design or pattern that's been applied to the china. A lot of people get those confused with pattern numbers. The pattern number here is clearly identified for you. It says pattern number, and this one is 6791. It's become known or was marketed as Stardust by Colclough. And for the period of production, well, that's very easy because Colclough marks changed very nicely as the ownership of the Colclough brand swapped around. And this one was made while it was under the manufacturing authority of the Ridgeway Pottery. So this dates these pieces to between 1954 and 1965. From 1966 through to 97, that would not appear on later pieces, which were manufactured under the Dalton period of ownership. So you'll quite often see these listed, particularly on our websites, as either Dalton period Colclough or Ridgeway period Colclough, or proper vintage pre-1954 HJ Colclough. So that is why we use those references, and it comes back to that china mark. These cups are in absolutely beautiful condition. One thing to say about Colclough when you're looking to collect or improve or extend pieces is there's quite a lot of it around out there on the market. It's not that difficult to find. So my advice is you can afford to be picky and select only the finest condition pieces. A lot of them have just been used very lightly and stored very carefully over the 50 to 60 years that these have been in manufacture. Let's have a look at the cup shape, because there's some other things that you need to have a look at when buying replacements. Two cup shapes were made. Now this is the C-shaped cup, curved wall, no indent in the center. The indent in the center shape, D shape, is an example here on this sugar basin. You can see that the wall nips in at the waist and then balloons out above and below it. This is called the D shape, and the D-shaped teacups mirror that shape. They made both during the same period of production. The next thing to check out is the rim of the teacup or other pieces of china. This has irregular indents in the rim. It's called an indent rim. Now, some rims are much more pronounced in the scalloping, the rolling nature of the rim, and some are absolutely plain rim with no indents. If you're trying to match a broken teacup within a set, it's important not only to check the actual shape of the teacup, but also the rim for a complete match on it. Now, the other thing that you need to have a look at when you're replacing your china is the measurements. They did change the sizes ever so slightly over the long period of production. So on a good listing, you should see both the diameter and height of the teacup. The handles on some pieces and lines of china altered, but on Colclough they tended to be this pretty standard slip arch supported handle. You can see here it's sort of outlined in the gilt by the decorators there. But do have a look at those things when you're looking to match and buy replacement pieces. This particular tea set was made with the square tea plates. Later pieces and designs during the Dalton period, and certainly some early ones in the Ridgeway, had round tea plates. So do check out the markings on it as well as the size and shape. And then look at the overall condition of it. The glaze should be really shiny and reflect light really well, as these ones do. Used pieces will have knife marks, fork marks, scratches basically into the glaze where they've been used over the years. And you've got to appreciate these are 60, 70 years old in some cases. They will have been used, some of them. And if you're replacing a piece that's in a well-used, well-loved set, you may want to and be quite happy with a piece that's got matching wear on it. You should pay less for those than for one that's in near mint condition. The little milk jug's an interesting piece here. Again, this is a D-shaped squat milk jug. They made these in the same D shape, slightly taller, and they also made them in a round bowl shape later, more like a ball shape than this wasted design. Half pint milk jug. This one's Ridgeway period again, in very fine condition, and again, lovely glaze reflection and no wear on the actual transfer design. So some tips for you there in terms of looking for Colclough. This design is called Stardust. The pattern reference number we've now explained to you how to identify and look for and not be confused by the mould or lot numbers. And with Colclough generally, if you can identify it from the China marks on the rear, that's your best bet in terms of looking online for replacement pieces. A lot of Colclough, both the early pieces and the later pieces, were not assigned official design or pattern names. And as you can see on these, not every piece, when we look through this, the teacups are nicely marked, but none of the saucers or the side plates have got any reference to the pattern name or number on them. So your best way of identifying these, if you've just got an orphan piece with no pattern reference on, is to use the Google Lens facility on your mobile phone. Take a really good white background picture of the piece you want to identify and use the Google Lens function in your search bar to try and match it to pieces that hopefully have been listed previously by sellers. And they may lead you, if you click on those links in the graphic matches, to identify the number at least, if not the name. But don't be surprised if you find your Colclough design has no officially assigned name. A lot of them end up being described poetically and descriptively as opposed to using an official name or number. I hope you found that information of use and have enjoyed looking at this part tea set. I'm wondering now whether we've got the matching teapot in Stardust. They do come through, but they're always the hardest pieces of any tea set to find at this stage in this China's evolution. Teapots are used every time a tea set comes out, whereas only one or two teacups may be used, so they tend to take the most wear and over the years end up damaged with chips or breakages. So it's not uncommon to find part tea sets where you've got milk jug, sugar basin and 5 or 6 teacups, and you'll see here we've only got actually 5 teacups of the 6 that were probably part of this tea set, with the teapot remaining in this collection. So time will tell. Do have a look online through our Stardust and Colclough collections generally. Please hit the like button if you've enjoyed and found this information useful, and the subscribe button. We've got lots of Colclough videos for enthusiasts of the China brand, so do have a browse through our YouTube selection. Thanks for watching.